Hello, hello. How
Hey
are you?
girl.
I feel like it's been forever since I last talked with you. How are you?
I know it really has. I'm great. I am feeling, I don't know, that's pretty gloomy here, but I'm still like in good spirits. We've had a lot of rain, but I'm doing wonderful. What about you?
I'm doing great. I feel like it's been such a fun month. I feel like summer's off to a great start, and so I've been great. I can't complain.
I know I've been seeing that you've been out and about a lot with all the games. She's become she's become a sports fanatic.
I am booked and busy, y'all. It's like Lady Gaga's train, another train, bus,
Us,
plane, club.
club, another club. Good for you.
It's very much been like that. So a little context for all of you guys who is first time is it's listening. If it's your first time listening to our podcast, then a little context is that um I'm based in New York right now, and if you know that the New York Knicks went on to win the championship, but leading up to it, there were many games, and because it's such an exciting time in like the basketball world in New York City, there's just been like nonstop watch parties. I mean, you go through any freaking bar in any little town, street, whatever, it's packed. And there's just like everybody's outside, like there's so much like camaraderie, like so much community, and you're just getting to know each other. So it's just been so much fun because then like you know when your day is gonna start, but you just don't know when it's gonna end and where it's gonna be or where it's gonna end up. And so that's exactly the vibes that I wanted for summer and just like the vibes that you envision as a little kid when when you're an adult. So yes, I have been out and about. And on top of that, we also have the World Cup going on. Woo! I'm not a huge soccer fan, just because I grew up like going to my brother's Sunday soccer games and they used to annoy me so bad. Um just sitting under the hot sun, watching kids run back and forth in a field and you have nothing to do. Like it's just not fun.
Hmm.
But anyway, I when the World Cup is on, I am tuned in. I'm tuned in. And again, same vibes that we have for the basketball games that we have for the World Cup games.
I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been to any games, but last week on Thursday, I think it was, that's when Mexico played.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming home on the like I was getting off the train right when like the game was like there were just minutes left. And obviously Mexico was winning, but like, at any moment the tables can turn. So I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They might win, they might not. And like I'm getting off the train and there's a couple bars by the train station. And I just hear like, just the crowd like roaring. And I'm like, oh, what a beautiful thing. It reminds me of
Mm-hmm.
like when I used to go to the Cubs games and then like after, yeah, same thing. Like you go to the game and then afterwards, like, I don't know, you just make friends. There's so much community because everyone's there for the same thing. And it doesn't matter. It's like, it's such a beautiful metaphor. Like, all differences aside, like we're all we're all just there for the Cubs or for whatever team it is in particular. And it's like, yeah, and then you become buddies and you go out for drinks and then the night goes wherever it goes. But yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I definitely need to go catch a game during one of these days. And then the thing is, any team, like I will just root for anybody. Like I'll just go.
Well, if you need a good one to watch, the Mexico versus Korea game tomorrow at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central Time.
Ooh.
So yeah, tune
Ooh.
in because if you know, you know, Korea and Mexico are really good allies. I mean, we cheer for one another. So we'll see where we end up after this game.
Didn't you watch the South Korea game?
But last week, yeah, on
Yeah.
Thursday, I watched the South Korea versus Czechia or Czech Republic, as it
Did
used
they
to be
win?
called. Yeah, South Korea won.
Oh, okay. Look at
Yeah,
that.
no, and it was really fun because again, because Mexicans cheered for Koreans, for South Korea. Yeah, the bar was jam-packed with Mexicans, South Koreans, and just like people from other teams cheering for Korea
Yeah.
because they're a favorite among soccer
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yeah, exciting. I'm also not a big soccer fan, but I mean, what? It's the World Cup.
Yeah. And it only happens every 4 years. So, every 4 years your life in 4 years your life could look very, very differently than, 4 years.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
yeah, it's like a good marker for time.
hmm You know what a good it always reminds me of the World Cup always reminds me of when I started college because there was a World Cup
Mm.
when I started at UIC. And I think about like that is so different from now.
Yeah, 2014, right?
hmm
Yeah. Oh my God, yes, I remember. Do you know what game was playing or what was a popular match
I don't
on your
remember,
first day?
but I remember that there was a lot of jokes about like no fue penal, like there was a penalty. You know what I'm talking about? There was like a
Yeah.
penalty that like people said was a bad call, and I remember people would write it on the board. Like in August, like the World Cup was clearly in the summer, and like people in August are still writing it on the boards, like at school. And I'm like, people feel really passionate about because you know how people would write on the board like no food, no drink, no smoking, and then they'd put like, no flipping that.
Oh yes. Oh yes. If I'm not mistaken, it was Mexico versus the Netherlands. They got marked. The Netherlands was like given like a chance to kick off a penalty goal when it wasn't clearly a penalty goal.
hmm
Oh my gosh, us Mexicans come
Look
up
at
with
you
the
with all this
silliest stuff.
terminology.
Girl, I'm telling you, I remember I'm tuned in for the World Cup. That's why I remember all these like moments in of that happened in the World Cup throughout the years.
Yay. All right, so I know that we have like a theme for today's episode. I don't know if you
Yes.
want to get into that or did you want to talk more? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'll get into it. So, speaking of the World Cup, how that ties in, I was thinking about it, I'm like, it's so cute. How I mentioned that the World Cup only happens every 4 years. So, like 4 years from today, your life is going to look very different. 4 years ago, your life looked very different. And so one video that like kind of inspired this today's episode is there are these two sisters, they're twins, and I'll drop the names, but essentially they get in front, they record a video and they talk about how every version of you was supposed to happen because it was supposed to get you to who you are today, essentially. And they give like a bunch of examples, right? Like every for every maybe not disrespect but for every boundary that you let cross that was supposed to teach you what boundaries were important to you. So that's just like one example. Or like you know how every chapter of your life we think that it's that every we think that every chapter of our life is supposed to be perfect, and that's not the case. But even if it wasn't perfect, that was supposed to still work in your favor in the long term because it was supposed to shape you and who you are today. And that, um, those learnings, those teachings from these wonderful women, really spoke to me because I'm a ruminator. Like I just am.
Me
That's why I had
too.
to be. Are you? Ooh, share more.
Just I just like can go like on a spiral like just thinking like all alone by myself like I don't know like the like an overthinker, you know? Like I always think the worst. Um I don't know. I just am a big overthinker. That's what ruminating means, right?
I think, well, for me, ruminating means thinking of, yeah, overthinking, but like in a cycling manner. Like you're constantly overthinking, replaying like how it could have, would have, should have happened.
Mm.
And but like for me at least, it's like rethinking through past mistakes or like past
Mm-hmm.
situations. Like how would that have played out differently had I known like what I know now? Or
Okay.
like I know that my life didn't turn out a certain way because of this one particular decision. And so I constantly keep thinking about like, well, how else could I have like changed that situation?
Mm-hmm.
And so like, yeah, that's what I mean by like being a big ruminator. But
Okay.
it essentially is overthinking because you're beating a dead horse.
Oh, I love that. But go on, you
Um,
were saying that you're a big ruminator.
Yeah, I'm a huge ruminator, and sometimes I just have to snap out of it because it's not healthy. It keeps me very much so in like a negative mindset. uh, it makes me feel like the life that I'm living now is like somehow wrong or like a mistake when that's not the case at all. And all that stems from like this constant rumination. That's all that well, when I'm ruminating, that's all that my focus is on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when your focus is so much on one thing, that thing becomes so big in your life. And it makes you think like things that maybe are not ideal or not true at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. That kind of reminds me of one of I know you said to like kind of come up with like not maybe regrets, I guess, that you have. And that's one of my big ones is like it's pretty general. It's just because I think I changed recently, and by recently I mean like in the last year. And I'm still working on it, but I'm like a lot better than I used to be. And I think that one of like a regret that I have, or something that I wish I would have started doing sooner, is like not stressing or worrying too much about things.
Mm.
Because in the end, whatever that was that I was worried about, like I figured it out. But like I would always get caught up in whatever it was, like whatever the situation was, I would be super like stressed, and it would like kind of consume me, and then in the end I would somehow, I'm not saying that it was always a perfect solution, but it would resolve itself on anyway, like somehow.
Mhm.
And then afterwards I feel like all that energy was wasted on like stressing over it, because like why was I stressing if I know I can fix things? um
Ah,
and I feel like now that I'm older, I have maybe it took me this long. Like this is how long it took me to realize that I can like just do well in these situations. Like when life throws something at you, I get like
mhm.
overwhelmed and I'm like, oh my God, I have to, I'm worried, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do. And then in the end, I still do it. I fix it somehow. But it took me like a long time in order to like learn that about myself. But that was like a part of life that like if I say like, oh, I regret that that took me so long, but maybe this is just how long it had to take for me to figure it out.
Hmm. So now that you touch on it, like how long it took you to figure that out or arrive to that resolve right for yourself, one thing that came up was that the ladies mentioned in this video is that how can you expect wisdom without the lesson? And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like you need experience and like and this experience comes from like lessons over lessons over lessons over time. And that takes time. And so whenever it is that we arrive to the better version of us, I think it's okay.
Yeah, and we all have like our own timeline. Like we all get there whenever we get there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
some
because like
some sooner than others, but it's okay.
yeah. And like what if you do get there early, but then you don't have like the wisdom to appreciate where you're at that point, then is it really like favorable? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it make a
Um,
difference? Does it matter if you weren't ready for it?
right. And like sometimes I think that the maturity that comes with like being older is that also, ties into when you realize these things, because sometimes like it just takes more life experiences in order to figure it out. But
Hmm.
you were gonna drop the names of the
Oh, thank
ladies.
you.
Mhm.
Yes. Did you get a chance to, I mean, obviously you got a chance to watch it because we discussed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But was there anything on there that like spoke to you or in
Yeah,
anything that they
I
said?
liked when they said that how can you set a boundary until you know that someone has crossed it? or something
Mm.
along those lines. Maybe not that same exact like terminology, but it was like you can't put like a boundary. Like, and I'm thinking about like a physical boundary, like in my head, right? Like, how do you know to set a boundary if you don't know that you need it in the first place? And so sometimes it takes like someone or something crossing that boundary, and then you make a mental note of like, oh, I didn't like that. And then for the future, you know to set that boundary. But you have to be like you have to be tried. Like someone has to try you and then you're like, wait a minute. And at that point, like it's up to you, right? The lesson then is up to you. Like, do I want this to happen to me again?
Uh-huh. You had to be the one that one day.
The
I'm not
two.
the one. But sometimes you need to be the one to
Right,
know that
some
you're not the one or the two.
exactly. Sometimes you need the one, but don't let it be the two because by the time the two comes around, you better have that boundary up. Exactly. So that's I they said something along those lines and I was like, "Oh, I was listening to it yesterday and I was like, I really like that." I was like making dinner and I was like, "Rewind, let me listen to that again." And I really like that because it's true.
Mm-hmm. I found it. I found their username. It is them, all lowercase by the way, them underscore damn twins with the Z at the end.
Them
And
twin.
yes, exactly. And so uh I we will include the video and we will also share it on our social media page if you guys want to watch like the full video. But so cute. So many lessons. Um but what you were saying about like how do you know what boundaries to set if you haven't been tried? It almost reminds me of like when children don't know why certain things are bad because they haven't experienced it. It's like
Hmm.
maybe don't stick your finger by the fire because it's gonna burn you. But like, how would they know if it's really bad if they don't even know what bad is?
Hmm. Yeah, like sometimes it's like they don't like the parent can say don't touch the stove, it's hot. And the kid is still curious and they're gonna touch it. And it's because I don't want to say that they don't trust the parent, but they're like, how would I know until I feel it for myself? And so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a test. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're right.
I
You're
know
right.
not to touch that again.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that the day prior, right? Like they
Hmm.
know going forward.
Yeah. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like when people tell you people give you, people that are wiser or older give you like advice and they're like, don't do this, don't do that. And you're like, well, okay. That's them being like, don't touch the stove. And you're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And then you go ahead and touch the stove and you're like, damn, I should have listened to them. But you have to make that mistake. I don't want to say if it's a mistake, but like you have to just experience that part of life and then you
Mm-hmm.
learn like the lesson from yourself. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you don't, not that you don't believe them, but you're like, I don't know, sometimes we're just so like naive.
Is there anything in your life, an experience that like maybe you in the moment or like a little bit of time before or after it, like you thought about it constantly and you regretted it or like you just really hated that version of you because it didn't like it didn't move how you would have moved ideally. But now you've come to realize like, oh, like that version of me was supposed to be there for this particular reason.
Hmm. Probably when and I think I've mentioned this before, probably when I moved out, I feel like I could have been more prepared. Um, but also like the circumstances of which I'm like the reasons why I moved it was kind of abrupt, like I didn't plan on it. So I just wish I would have been like more prepared, like financially to like move out. Um, and it was like an expensive lesson. But that's the thing is like how would you like I couldn't even imagine what it was like to pay for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like and of course like my parents would say like, "Oh, like the real world is expensive." And I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." They were right. So I think that I would have liked to have been better prepared for that, but also like how would I have known? And so it took me like experiencing that, like paying bills and doing everything for myself and like organizing myself, cooking for myself, like all these things like go into like being independent that I just wouldn't have known until
Mm-hmm.
now that it happened. Like even like cleaning your own place, like all those things that like you don't know until it happens to you. And now I feel more settled and I'm like, okay, I know how that works, but I wanted to know that before. But obviously, how was I gonna know that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through that.
And also, like, what if you had been as prepared as you thought? Maybe at that moment you would have been like, oh, I could always be more prepared. Like, there's no ending to it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess in that case, like, then I wasn't that bad. Like, it could have been much worse. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I just, it was something new. Um, I needed time to like get used to it. And yeah, but what did you ask again? Like if I felt like a failure or something?
Oh,
Oh,
no. Not at
I don't know
all.
why I heard that. Um,
I guess, well, it's a little layered of a question, but my question was more so about, is there, I guess, like a regret or something that you thought of as like a regret or like not a good experience, but now that you're on the other side of it, like you know that you shouldn't have regretted that. Like it's fine. Like I'm
mhm,
happy for that experience.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Let me
think
know then.
yeah, it makes sense. I think it's probably that I I would have liked more time to prepare to move out. Um, but that didn't happen, and it kind of just taught me that sometimes life comes at you. Because like in a perfect world, I would have like saved up and been like, okay, I'm ready to move out. But that didn't happen. Like I got a new job and I was like, oops, I have to move out and within a certain amount of time. And that sometimes life is that way. Like things just get thrown at you and you have to roll with it. And then I was able to like, I mean, I made it work, but it was kind of just like a lot all at once. And so maybe I would have had like a softer life if I'd never experienced that, right? It's like so nice, like, oh, I don't know what that's like, but it taught me how harsh life is. Not harsh, but just how like just the way it is. Like it's just there's it's not harsh, it's not soft, it's just the way it is. And you have to be like adaptable.
Hmm.
So it taught me adaptability.
Yes. Because now you can share with confidence, like I'm an adaptable person. Like that's just who I am today.
Yes, I'm gonna use that at interviews. What about you?
Ooh, to answer my own question, yeah, so for the longest time, right? Like I was always harping on the fact that maybe I didn't go to the college of my dreams. Or even before that, I didn't go to the college of my dreams because didn't I didn't do I didn't get into like the IB program at my neighborhood school that would have like I don't know, put me on a different like level of student. But then if I had gone that way, I wouldn't have found it in me or my desire to transfer to want to go do better and allowed me to go to, high school away from my neighborhood the entire side of on a different side of the city. And that taught me how to like just be independent and like be confident and just very like comfortable in public transportation long distances.
Hmm.
And maybe without that experience, it wouldn't have given me the confidence to um go even further, move to a different city that, that relies on heavily on public transportation, which I was very comfortable navigating from the get-go because I'd already experienced that as a kid, And so yeah, I think like I looking back now, I regret it like just like not being a better student to go to a better college, but like it forced me to, at some point, change high schools because I wanted to do better. And, that landed me somewhere else. Um, in this case being like here or like going to college at UIC and then never meeting you. Or, like if I hadn't gone to UIC, I would have never met you or Lily or Heidi. And like you guys are all just like very important, like friends in my life to this day. And so, yeah, I guess like all those things that maybe I didn't look at so positively. Like now I'm like, oh, thank God for that. Because,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be myself today without those experiences.
I also, well, I didn't want to go to UIC as like my first pick,
Hmm.
but after like thinking back now, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And I'm so glad that we did go there because I don't know about you. Well, so UIC is so diverse.
Yeah.
And I would not have liked to have gone to like a predominantly white institution
Hmm.
just because of the lack of diversity. And UIC is very diverse, and I think that I really, really appreciated that. Um, and I just met so many cool people from like friends, obviously, but then like even the staff and like instructors and professors, like it was just such a cool place. And yeah, it was like in the middle of the city, so you like got that experience. You learned a lot. So I think like when I was still in high school, I was like, I don't want to go there.
Hmm.
But it was just like the best option for me. And I think that if I would have gone somewhere else, like where I wanted to go, I would have had a very different experience and probably be a different person now. So I'm glad that I went to UIC. I'm glad that we both went there.
I
Because yes, we
know
would have never met.
we wouldn't have at all. I just don't see a life where we could have met or we would have met. Were
Mm-mm.
there any? No, I don't think so. But yes, I'm glad that we came across we crossed paths. Um, and now we have a podcast together.
Yes. Let me see. Okay. Do you have anything else about that we should talk about the regrets? I know that you also wanted to talk about like what you've been up to.
Oh, I mean, I touched upon it on like earlier
Okay.
in the episode, yeah. But I'm curious to know, wait, did you have any other question? Do you have any questions that you wanted to, or any points about the video that you wanted to make?
It was pretty much the boundary one. And no, I think that was it. Oh, well, she did.
Okay.
Yeah, she did say something. I think you touched on this. Like the lessons have to be like you have to go through that part in order to learn your lesson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, okay, cool. I just was just wondering if there was like anything you wanted to go like more into depth.
I mean, I have more regrets.
Oh yeah, let's hear them.
Okay. That sounded really funny. Like, I have all these things I regret.
You said, but wait, I'm not done.
But wait, there's more. You get a regret, and you get a regret, and you get a regret, you get a regret, you get a regret. Like Oprah, they're not that serious. I think that I would have picked a career path. Okay, I'll give you background. The career that I chose was like the reasons for picking that career path were driven by like my um passion and like my drive to help people, um, and like eliminate health inequities. However, through life, I have learned that it's not fair out here. It's hard, and even when you try to do the good work, you somehow don't feel good. And so I think that if I could go back in time and be like a freshman in college, I would have gone to my advisor and been like, I want to be undecided because I don't want to pay the tuition differential. But then later, eventually, when I absolutely had to make up my mind, I would have chosen a career path that is more lucrative and doesn't really where you're just like, you know what, I don't care about giving back to the community. Like I need to get paid because in the end, I am the community and I have to think about myself. And I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna I still am passionate, but it's hard to change the world. Like there's just so many
Hmm.
layers of like bureaucracy that it's hard. And I feel like I have like been like burned out of that because I'm like you try to do good things and then you don't see like you don't see the fruits of your labor. Like you don't see it's hard to see like the what is it like the gratification sometimes. And so I'm like maybe I should just put myself first like Cookie in Empire. She's like I gotta put myself first. What if she says like, I gotta put me first? I gotta put me first. I should have just studied like finance or accounting or something. And I would have been doing a job where it's like, yeah, sure, exploiting people, but I would have been getting paid.
But I'm not being exploited.
I mean, I am. We all are, like in the
We
chain.
are.
We all are, but and like for example, I chose a career where I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna give back to the community, and I'm still being exploited, and everyone else is still being exploited. Like I'm not fixing the problem. I'm just like it makes my heart feel good that I'm being a good person, which is important. But after a while, it's like I just need to survive in this society, so I need to get a check.
And even when like you think you're doing or you're working in the good fields, like the humanitarian careers, if you will, like you're still gonna be behind a desk.
When
Like
you
you're
said
never
humanitarian, I made me think of like Mother Teresa.
so so what I was saying earlier, even if you have the humanitarian jobs, right? That do good deeds that intend to be have bigger missions for like helping folks. I think that at the end of the day, you're never as close to fixing the problem as you think you are. Like at the end of the day, regardless if you make this amount of money, that amount of money, your tasks are kind of very similar, right? Especially if you sit behind a
hmm
desk, respond to emails, like problem solve, etc. So you may as well get paid for it at the end of the day. Like just get paid for it. Because then regardless of what job you have, it's all gonna become very mundane, like very boring.
Oh yeah.
And so just
Yes,
get
very boring.
yes, yes. I can confirm, like it's all boring because at the end of the day, unless like you're super passionate about whatever it is, that's anyway. But like your day's gonna look very, very much the same. And I think that like if you need to trade your time because you're trading your time, your life. You need to be able to trade it for money, make it expensive. And so I, Clarissa, I wholeheartedly agree. Like the one thing that I still harp on over is like, girl, fuck med school. You're not gonna like it anyway. So like, please go make some money. Like pick a career that's gonna make you so much money from the get-go, from the moment you graduate college. Like the
Yes.
earning is already high.
Yeah. And even if you like the point that you made about like you're trading your time in exchange for money, so you might as well like have like a good rate. That's true. And you are going to be
Mm-hmm.
doing like generally the same kind of work. Like what, sending emails, getting on
Mm-hmm.
calls. It's all the same. It just
The con
depends.
yeah.
for like what is the outcome that you hope to achieve? And I understand the argument of wanting to work for like a good cause because I used to believe that. But once you do it for a little bit, you really I don't want to say you become jaded, but you realize that the problems that persist are because like they're bigger than you, they're bigger than for like whoever you work for because
Hmm.
they're like systemic and but it is designed to be that way. So you're never gonna fix it. You could work towards it and you feel good, at the end of like your career, say like for 30 years, I helped the people. Which, yes, that is a beautiful thing. But also, like, did you help yourself?
Hmm. Hmm. And you know what changes the world, or at least your world, is access to wealth. And how do you get access to wealth? You increase your earnings so that you can enter all these spaces that eventually, right, with proximity, you start to get yourself ingrained into those systems. And now it's like
Mm-hmm.
change. And like you mentioned earlier, we are the community. So like the better you do as an individual, that extends to the community because you're part of the
Oh, you're
community.
right.
And
You're
so the
right.
more of you that have that mindset, your earning potential, like the earning potential in within the community also increases. And then that starts to trickle down into decreasing disparities that, are not bearable for the community.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're absolutely right. Like by like me doing, by increasing like earnings and whatnot, like I am helping the community. That's a
Yes.
good point. But yeah, that's like something that I think I don't think it's like too late. Like you could always pivot in your career, but I think that like it would have been nice to like yeah, like you said like study something that allows you to have high earning potential right away or at least
Yep.
sooner. Um that would have been nice.
Hmm.
But here we are. I learned my lesson. I mean, it's been okay. It's just that like now you know. Like now you and I wouldn't have learned that unless I worked in what I do. Like I wouldn't have learned that
Hmm.
like it's hard to really cause change.
Hmm.
Because I was so, innocent and naive and I thought that I could. And then I
Hmm.
tried and I was like, well, I mean, you a little bit, which I
Hmm.
guess is more than others can say, like I suppose, but it gets to a point where you're like, I don't know, you just get burnt out and you're like sick of it. And you're like, what about me?
What about you?
What about me? I gotta put me first. I want to say I
Yep.
gotta put myself first, but I think it's I gotta put me first.
I gotta put myself first, Lucius.
Yeah.
I love Cookie.
Oh my
I gotta
God.
put me first.
I love her movies. I was watching Baby Boy the other day.
Is
Have you
that
seen
like
that one?
you?
No,
No.
that's an old movie. It's with her and
Really?
Tyrese Gibson. Is that his name?
Ooh, baby boy. I
It's
love
so good. You need to
that.
watch it. Oh my God.
Let me look at the synopsis of it.
It actually applies to what we're talking about now because it's about this like young man who kind of he's still a baby. Like he's a man, but he's still a baby because he's very
Mm-hmm.
like he still lives with his mom. He doesn't really like have any responsibilities. He doesn't have a job. He's just like not like a full
But
he's not
adult.
yes. So that's why it's called Baby Boy. But like in the end, he like kind of we don't really know what happens in the end, but like you can see that throughout the whole movie, like he learns a lot of lessons. And Taraji is his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good movie. I won't say anything else. There's
Okay.
a lot of little lines too that you like once you watch it, I will make references.
Okay. Anything that
But
you recommend, girl, because I will love, I'm sure.
I know. I'm the one that recommended Mad Men.
Yes. You actually recommend me quite a lot of movies and shows to watch. And I always take your word for it because they've so far been good evidence.
Did you
Just
watch
a good taste.
Severance?
No, I haven't. No.
That one's
Mm-mm.
really good. I only watched season one, but that there's a season two I haven't watched it. That one's very good too.
I've noticed that you tend to like white collar shows or like, shows that who's that's the context, like just like a white
Mm-hmm.
collar
At work,
environments.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is an office place too. But it's like it's not like Mad Men. It's very different.
hmm Yeah, you said it's like people are severed, right? Into like they leave work, they don't remember anything about work, but then
Yes.
they leave home and they don't remember anything about home. Okay, my question is, how do they know when to go to work and when to go to home if they have like no memory of one another?
Like they know that they go to like for example, if I right now I'm at home, I know that I go to work every day, but I don't know what I do there.
Damn.
I mean that kind of applies. Like I don't know what I do. I just go in there all day, click, click, click. But it's like, and then when they're at work, they know that they go home. But like as soon as they leave the work building, they don't know. So that's how it happens. Like it's the elevator. The elevator, like to and from, the
Mm,
elevator is like symbolic. Like when they're taking the elevator up to the office, that's when they like, I don't know, transition brains, and then it's like they turn off the work brain, or sorry, they turn off the home brain and turn on the work brain. And then at the end of the day, it's the opposite. So they know that they know that they have a job. Their home life knows, right? Like at home, like, yeah, I have a job, but I don't know what I do there. And then at the job, their coworkers know that they have a home and they go home and whatever. Like, I don't know, am I married? Do I have kids? Like, they don't know anything.
okay. How do they do with social life? Is there a
They
social
have they
life?
have like d two distinct social lives. Like they have one at work and one at home. And they don't, and if they know each other in one, they don't recognize each other in the other.
Oh, so like if I ran into a coworker in the street during my like personal time off in the street, I wouldn't recognize my coworker as my
Exactly.
coworker.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Okay, so like they leave home and then home can entail like their house, their families, and their friends.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Ah, that's
So you
interesting.
could potentially know, like I could, if we work together, I could know you at work. And then
hmm
and then if you're my neighbor, I could know you at home too, but we don't know about each other. Like, like I've known you twice basically.
Ah,
It's
okay.
weird. You have to watch it because there's a lot more that like I don't want to give away, but that's
hmm
basically how it works, the severance. Um, and it's very interesting when you understand why and um
Was
it's
this a system set up for a particular reason?
mhm.
Mhm. Okay, I'm curious now. What was the reason?
What was the reason? That was recommended to me by a coworker, and so I thought it was funny because he was like, it's so cool because your family doesn't know about work and your work doesn't know about your family." And I was like, okay, that sounds creepy. But once you watch it, um, it's cool because I don't know, there are some problems involved. So you have to watch it. But yeah, I need to watch season two now that I think about it. Um, but yeah, do you have any more back to like the original topic? Do
Yeah.
you have anything else you want to share about the like regrets or lessons?
Oh yes, I think that like one thing that I still think about that I think would have made like a grand difference in my life, or who knows, but I'm sure it would have marked a very significant um thing in my life, right? I probably would have left home earlier. Like I'm curious to know how I would have been had I left home like for college at like 18 and just had to be completely independent. Maybe like had come to school here in New York, right? Like how would an 18-year-old me navigate this place without like, you know, I don't know, like the family here, the funds, like how would I have navigated that? How what kind of person would I like turned into? Like would I have like been messed up? I don't know.
Oh my
Like
God.
what route would my life have taken, you know? So I think about that often, but also I see the positives. Like, well, knowing me, maybe I would have been down with the shits for a little bit, but like at some point I would have gotten it together. And but I would have done that like much sooner, right? Like I think it would have kicked in earlier in my life, like wanting to get my life together. And where would I be today? Like all that independence times 10. I'm curious. Like I think I would have felt maybe more grown at this age.
Hmm.
Because again, like more experience.
Yeah, I think that sometimes we think like we kind of want to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, like 18 is too young to move out or, go to college, go away. But those, knowing what we know now, those experiences are like what teaches you
Mm-hmm.
how to be independent, how to survive on your own and all that. And so it's like we want to like protect ourselves from like adversity, like, oh, you're too young to go through that. But it's like
Yeah.
that's what's gonna make you who you are.
Yeah.
And imagine if we would have experienced that sooner, then we would be on top of the world right now. Like we would be doing so much better because we would have already like learned that, experienced that, and we would be on to newer things at this point. But like it's okay the way that it worked out, but like now it's the theme is kind of like we should have like struggled earlier.
Gotten it out of the way,
Right.
pivoted quicker, had, been more, taking more risks because it's like, well, I'm only 20 or I'm only 18. Like, I can do the risk. I can take the risk and I have all this life to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. We would have been just as fine, but we
Hmm.
would have already like navigated those parts of life and we would have been like little experts and now would be on to like bigger things.
Yeah. Aligned. That's the kind of shit you say at both work environments, whether you do the humanitarian jobs or like the, super white
Yeah,
collar businessy jobs.
that's true. I hate like business jargon, like when people are like, "Can I like circle back?" or like pivot or all those things. I'm like, "Can you just speak regularly?" But I
I'll
get
get
it.
back to you. Yeah. You have to make it sound very actionable.
Right. Like, let's take this offline. I actually hate that because there's someone that I used to work with that would overuse it, and I don't think they knew what that meant. They'd
Let's
be like,
sidebar.
right, like, let's talk offline. And then they would want to talk about it still online. I'm like, I don't think you understand what that means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. I think ultimately,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think ultimately, sometimes we think we have these regrets, but really they're just the part of life that we have to experience, and they teach us lessons. And it kind of goes back to, remember when we had that episode where we asked each other questions, and you asked if I had like a mantra or something,
Yeah.
and yours was do better or be better,
Do
right?
do better.
Do better. Well, mine was everything is a win when the goal is experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of like fits what we're talking about now because that's the truth. Like, yeah, you might think, "Oh, I wish I would have done this instead," or I would have done that earlier than I did. But I mean, in the end, like you learned something and you had to go through that part of life in order to learn it. Because you couldn't, sometimes people try to tell you the stove is hot and you don't believe them and you have to touch it anyway. To learn for yourself, that's the metaphor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because then with all these mistakes, all these learnings that you encountered through experience, it just makes you a more capable person in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're
Yeah.
confident, wise, like not afraid. And those
Mm-hmm.
are all great things to be at any point.
Yeah, because adversity makes you resilient. And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's true, but like I have heard people say that sometimes like the people that are most successful have gone through the most like struggle. And that's because they know like they're resilient and they know how to bounce back and they're adaptable and they can work their way out of things. And so sometimes you think like, oh, you feel bad, like, oh, they went through so much. But it's like, well, of course they did because look at them now. They had to go through all that in order to like learn for themselves that they are capable and like it also teaches you confidence about yourself like because you're like I know I can do it. I've done this, I did this and I did this and I managed to get out of it or fix it or something, and so you know that you can do hard things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So with all those beautiful thoughts of ours, that's all that we had for today, at least on my end.
Yeah, I think we're good to wrap it up. We hope you enjoyed this episode full of wisdom.
Yes. Did you guys notice it's like a shorter episode too? Like I said, we listen to your comments, take your advice because ultimately you are the listeners and we're here to deliver a grand experience. So keep the questions coming, the suggestions coming, the feedback coming.
Yay! Yes, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, bye.
Bye. See ya.